Before the room goes dark and the moment becomes impossible to ignore, make sure you're still here. Subscribe to Emo Saga for grounded, sensual stories where intimacy grows naturally, and every ending makes sense. The room looks different once most of the people are gone. Not empty, settled. The kind of quiet that comes after something has ended properly. Chairs are tucked in, cups gathered. The low murmur of conversation replaced by the soft hum of overhead lights. I stay behind because I offered to help. That's the official reason. The real one is simpler. I wasn't ready to leave yet. Thanks for staying, he says, lifting a box from the table with practiced ease. His name is Mark. We've worked together long enough to be familiar without being close. Shared meetings, brief conversations, the kind of professional comfort that never asks for more. He's reliable, calm, the sort of person who notices details but doesn't make a show of it. Until tonight. It's no problem, I reply, reaching for a stack of programs. It'll go faster with 2 people. He nods. Exactly. We move around the room in an easy rhythm, collecting what's left behind. There's no rush, no pressure, just the quiet coordination of 2 adults finishing something they agreed to start. I notice the way he works, methodical, unhurried. The way he pauses before stacking items, making sure nothing's bent or misplaced. You're very particular, I say lightly. I like things finished properly, he replies. Loose ends bother me. That lands more personally than it should. We work mostly in silence after that. Not awkward silence, comfortable. The kind where you don't feel the need to fill it just to prove something. As the room clears, the sound changes. Our footsteps echo more. The lights feel brighter against the emptiness. I glance around. Almost done. Yeah, he agrees. Just the lights. The switch panel is at the far end of the room, near the side exit. I start toward it automatically. I can do that, he says. I'll help, I reply, surprising myself with how quickly the words come out. He looks at me for a beat, just long enough to register the choice. All right. We walk together toward the panel. The rest of the building is already quieter. The muffled sounds of doors closing somewhere down the hall. I reach the switches first. Ready? I ask. Go ahead. I flip the first one. Half the room dims. The change is immediate. Softer. More contained. I flip the second. Now only the lights near the exit remain, casting long shadows across the floor. The room feels smaller. More intentional. Just one left, I say. He steps closer. Not abruptly, not crowding. Just close enough that I'm aware of him without turning around. Whenever you're ready, he says. I hesitate for a fraction of a second longer than necessary. Then I flip the last switch. The room goes dark. Not pitch black. Emergency lights glow faintly near the door, outlining shapes rather than details. Enough to see. Enough to be aware. I turn slightly toward him. He's closer than I expected. Close enough that the space between us feels optional. Careful, he says quietly. There's a step there. Before I can respond, his hand comes to my waist. Not grabbing. Not pulling. Just resting there, firm, steady, unmistakable. The contact sends a quiet jolt through me. I freeze. So does he. Sorry, he says, but his hand doesn't move away immediately. It's okay, I reply. And it is. The words feel true. The darkness does something strange. It strips away the room, the expectations, the context that usually tells us how to behave. Without the lights, the moment feels less performative, more honest. His hand is still at my waist. Warm. Grounding. I don't step away. You all right? He asks. Yes, I say softly. I didn't see the step. Neither did I, he admits. I just reached. The honesty in that steadies me. We stand there for a moment longer than we need to. Not because we're stuck. Because neither of us is rushing to end it. I should probably move, I say. You can, he replies. But he doesn't remove his hand. He's leaving the choice with me. I shift slightly, not away, just adjusting my balance. His hand follows the movement instinctively, maintaining the same contact. That's when I realize something important. This isn't accidental anymore. I don't want this to feel weird. I say quietly. It doesn't, he replies immediately. At least not to me. Me neither, I admit. The admission feels grounding rather than risky. The emergency light casts a faint outline of his face. I can't see details clearly, but I can feel his attention, focused, present. You don't rush endings either, he says. I smile faintly. No. I like knowing when something's actually finished. And this? He asks. I don't think it is yet, I reply. His hand shifts slightly at my waist, not tightening, not pulling, just acknowledging the space we're sharing. Tell me if you want me to step back, he says. I consider it, then shake my head. Not yet. The answer feels deliberate. We start walking toward the exit together slowly. His hand remains where it is, guiding rather than holding. Each step feels intentional, measured. At the door we stop again. The hallway light spills in, brighter than the emergency glow behind us. This is where the lights come back, I say. Yes, he agrees. And where things usually return to normal. Usually, he echoes. He doesn't move his hand. Neither do I. The proximity feels different now, less tentative, more certain. I didn't expect tonight to feel like this, I say. Me neither, he replies. But it doesn't feel wrong. No, I agree. It feels noticed. That makes him quiet for a moment. Then, I've noticed you before. Just not like this. My breath catches, not from surprise but from clarity. I turn slightly, enough that my body faces his more directly. His hand stays at my waist, now clearly intentional. This isn't just the dark, I say. No, he replies. It isn't. And you're not stepping away. No. Neither am I. The hallway hums softly around us. A door closes somewhere far off. The building settles. Do you want to keep standing here? He asks. I think about it. About the light. About what happens when we step back into it. I want to finish this properly, I say. He nods. So do I. He releases my waist slowly, not as a retreat but as a pause. Walk me out, he asks. I smile faintly. I thought you'd never asked. As we step into the brighter hallway together, I realize something with surprising calm. This didn't come out of nowhere. It wasn't random. It built in small, reasonable steps. Shared quiet, shared purpose. A moment of darkness that revealed what was already there. And as we walk side by side toward the exit, I know one thing for certain. Turning off the lights didn't end the evening. It just made it honest. The hallway feels brighter than it should. Not harsh, just honest. The kind of light that makes it harder to hide behind assumptions or habits. As we walk side by side, the sound of our footsteps feels louder now that the room behind us has gone dark. Neither of us speaks right away. There's no need to. The moment hasn't ended. It's just changed shape. You didn't have to walk me out, he says after a few steps. I wanted to, I reply. The simplicity of the truth surprises me with how steady it feels. He nods once like that matters. It does. We move at an unhurried pace, passing closed doors and quiet corners. The building is mostly empty now. The energy of the event replaced by a calm that feels earned. This feels different in the light, I say quietly. Yes, he agrees. But not less real. I glance at him. You don't sound uncertain. I'm not, he replies. I'm just aware. That word again. Awareness. It's what started all of this. We reach the exit. The glass doors reflect us faintly. Two silhouettes standing closer than colleagues usually do, but not touching. The night outside presses gently against the glass, streetlights glowing like an invitation. This is usually where we say goodnight, I say. Yes, he replies. And then just like before, neither of us moves. I don't want to misread this, I say. You're not, he answers immediately. And if you were, I tell you, that certainty steadies something inside me. You're very clear, I say. I try to be when something matters, he replies. And this does. Yes. No hesitation. We step outside together. The night air is cool, refreshing after the warmth of the building. The city sounds are muted here, distant traffic, a low hum of life continuing without us. We stop near the steps. This is where the choice becomes real. Not dramatic, just present. I noticed you before tonight, he says suddenly. I turn toward him. You did. Yes, he replies. In small ways. The way you stay a little longer after meetings. The way you listen without interrupting. I smile faintly. That's observant. So are you, he says. You notice when I didn't rush to end things. I did. And you stayed. Yes. The space between us feels intentional again. He steps closer, not into me, not yet. Just close enough that the air shifts. I want to be careful, he says. I know, I reply. And I don't want to pretend this is something it's not. Neither do I. We're aligned again. Calmly. Clearly. His hand lifts slowly, giving me time to stop it. I don't. It comes to rest at my waist again, familiar now, grounding. The contact feels warmer outside. Less contained than it did in the dark room. You still okay? He asks. Yes, I say. I like that you asked. I like knowing, he replies. I lean in slightly, resting my hand against his chest. Not gripping. Not claiming. Just there. His breath changes, not sharply, just deeper. This isn't rushed, I say. No, he agrees. It's been building. That's true. I can see it now, the small moments lining up, the shared quiet, the way neither of us tried to force anything earlier. He tilts his head slightly, forehead brushing mine. The contact is soft. Intentional. When he kisses me, it's slow and unhurried, like an answer rather than a question. Nothing taken. Nothing assumed. I respond easily, my body relaxed, my thoughts clear. This isn't overwhelming. It's grounding. When we part, it's because we choose to, not because the moment breaks. That felt settled. I murmur. He smiles softly. That's exactly how it felt to me too. We stand together for a moment longer, arms around each other without urgency. The night doesn't press us to decide anything else right now. What happens next? I ask. He considers it carefully. Next, he says, we don't rush to define this. We let it continue in daylight. In normal moments. I nod. I'd like that. So would I. We walk toward his car together, hands brushing occasionally, neither of us making a point of it. At the car door, he stops and turns toward me again. I don't want this to feel like it only exists because the lights were off, he says. It doesn't, I reply. If anything, the dark just removed the noise. He smiles at that. Yes, he says. That's exactly it. We exchange numbers, not hurried, not ceremonial. Just another natural step. I'll text you tomorrow, he says. Coffee, I suggest. He nods. Daylight. Good, I reply. I like seeing how things hold up when they're not quiet. So do I. We part cleanly. No pause. No uncertainty left hanging. Just a sense of continuation that feels calm rather than charged. The next day, coffee is easy. No tensión. No need to reference the dark room or the lights. We talk like two people who already understand each other a little better than they did before. You're the same, he says at one point. So are you, I reply. That's a relief, he smiles. Weeks pass. The connection doesn't fade. It deepens slowly, intentionally through ordinary moments. Walks, dinners, shared silences that feel comfortable rather than heavy. And every now and then, when we're in a room together and the lights dim slightly, I feel his awareness shift, and I smile. One evening, long after that first night, we're leaving another event. Different room, different people. Same quiet after. As we reach the light panel, I glance at him. Want help? I ask. He smiles. Always. Some moments are loud. Others are honest. Ours didn't start because of darkness. It started because we paid attention when everything else fell away. And when the lights came back on, we didn't pretend nothing had happened. We chose to continue.